Hey, what's going on, guys? CHH here, and today we are reviewing Jeepers Creepers Reborn, technically the fourth installment in this franchise. So on my podcast, we actually interviewed the director, and I was delighted to hear that this was going to be the first Jeepers Creepers without any sort of Victor Salva involvement. That's going to matter to some people, and it's not going to matter to other people. I'm not the morality police. I'm not here to preach to you about whether you should or should not see this movie. That's up to you as the viewer to decide. That being said, though, I was a little excited. I was like, okay, big fan of that first movie, ready to go see this one, and didn't really know what to expect. I will say this right off the top. I will get into a little bit of a spoilers at the end, but I'll warn you, is Jeepers Creepers Reborn a good movie? This movie is 2000's video store rental trash. Yeah, so let's get into a little bit of details about this. So Jeepers Creepers Reborn is essentially, in a way, some sort of reboot, but more of a meta reboot. In this film, we see a couple in the beginning of the film traveling down a road that looks all too familiar, where this truck comes behind them that looks all too familiar. And when they narrowly escape this chase, at the end of it, we see the camera zoom out into a kid's cell phone, where we realize we're watching a unsolved mysteries tale about the Creeper. I'm going to give him credit for this. This was too clever, I think, to be a coincidence. If you know the other controversy about Victor Salva, a lot of people claim that he ripped off the movie from an Unsolved Mysteries episode. So to see them put that into here was kind of funny in its own way to make fun of that whole situation. So in this movie, the Creeper movies are movies, but there's a real legend of the actual Creeper. So in this movie, we're getting the real Creeper. Could have been a good way to disguise not having the same actor play the Creeper in this movie, hence the different look. But in this movie, this couple is going to a horror hound-themed Halloween party where it's Creeper-inspired. When they arrive, there's really fun set pieces with the colored lights, kind of Hellfest-inspired, and there are characters dressed up like Pennywise from the original and the remake. There's even a small segment where some guy is wearing what look to be like the Trick or Treat Studios Halloween 2 mask, where he cuts this girl's neck at the party. So the Halloween fans will get a kick out of that. But again, throughout this movie, you're seeing this pure 2009 just video store quality to the acting, the set designs. It's a micro-budget film, which makes it even more the funnier that I saw this on the big screen. Don't get me wrong, the camera was a nice camera they were using. Everything was sharp and in focus, but it feels so 2000s, late 2000s rental store horror. So if you're into that kind of thing, I think you'll at least enjoy this movie for that. As the story progresses, we see the Creeper narrowing in his sights on the girl of the movie, and there are some little twists and turns that they add to it, but by the time you get to that point, you're so brain dead from its trashiness that none of that stuff makes you really roll your eyes at that point, because it is what it is by that point. So make no mistake, this movie is a no-budget rental store trash film. There's a lot more Creeper in it, so if you were upset with Jeepers Creepers 3 because a lot of it was the van, you could potentially end up liking this one more. But if you're a big fan of the actor who played the Creeper and that storyline in a sense, you'll probably prefer 3 over this one, which isn't really saying much because I don't think anybody really liked 3. But for me personally, because this film was just so in-your-face, no-budget, popcorn trash, I prefer it over 3. But I can see how people can go the other way with it too, that they liked the story of the actual Creeper from the movies, etc. So with the spoiler section of this, if you want to leave, get out of here now. But in the spoiler section of this, if anybody cares, it's really, you know, like I said, this is like really a meta Creeper, where this is the real Creeper, and those movies that we saw were just, in fact, that movies. And we see that there is this little cult that kind of manipulates this Halloween party. When the couple win, they had the right ticket to go to this like escape room where they bring them to this house that the Creeper is dwelling at. The Creeper is going to make them his victims, where the cult is a part of the Creeper's team in a sense. It's really hokey, it's really silly, and it's just ridiculous. They zero in on the main girl. She's also pregnant, and they want the Creeper to have the baby so he can live eternally. Yeah, Some of the set designs were kind of fun, like the house was really decrepit and nasty. It had this nasty haunted house look, but I was talking to a buddy of mine. It looked like the outside of the house when they're approaching it is a CGI screen, and it is just hysterical. It's not so bad that you're like, oh my god, that's a green screen, but it looked a little sharp, and it's just like, that's probably a green screen that those people were walking on. So, again, it's trash. But if you like trash and late 2000s vibing video store trash, you could potentially like this one. The Creeper is more of a brute professional wrestler. In one scene, he actually punches a guy straight in the face as part of his attack. Don't get me wrong, it's one hell of a swing. But it's not the Creeper that is maniacal and as diabolical as, say, the one from the first movie. This one is more of a brute. The makeup doesn't look as good. The guy who played the first Creeper, the Creeper, was so well defined, and you knew that was the same guy in those 3 movies. And in this one, you can clearly tell it's somebody else. The makeup is a little bit different. He has a really wide nose. It doesn't have the same effect, and he looks just like a really good cosplay. I'm not defending it, but again, this movie was such gutter trash that it just kind of worked for me. And the professional wrestling style where the Creeper legitimately rears back and just knocks this guy in the face, I laughed my ass off at it. I'm gonna have to give this movie 2.5 stars just because it is what it is. I enjoyed it. I take it over 3, but you can probably wait to stream this if you want. Wait for it to come out. I mean, this is coming out on the second day of the 3-day event for the Fathom events anyway, so if you see this tomorrow and you decide, you don't have to go see it. I would probably wait. Unless you're a big fan and you want to see it, go for it. But man, it's gutter trash. It's no budget. The acting is cheesy. The characters are cheesy. But it was entertaining to me, so I'll take it over 3. If you happen to see this movie and you hated it, let me know. If you thought it was popcorn trash like I did and you enjoyed it for that, let me know as well. If you preferred it over 3, let me know. If you thought 3 was better than this one, let me know. If you like the direction or not like the direction, share your thoughts down below, guys. This is CHH from Planet CHH. I'll see you guys next time. Fun night. Thank you to all my supporters on Patreon. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, and music, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month.